Mr. President. All right, our speaker is Ray Houston today, and a little bio here. Ray Houston engages audiences as a provoking speaker, using his personal story of triumph from corporate success to downfall, back to success. He tells how through determination, his devastation became his motivation. As a speaker, he's been called Mr. Determined. As an author, he's been called The Escape from Hell. As a potential runner, setting records in his age group, he is called The Man Who Will Not Quit. Ray's power words telling his story and captivating his audiences are determination, commitment, desire, and confidence. Is DCDC, he calls it. Ray Houston is the author of There Is Life After Drugs, How Bad Do You Want It? He tells the story of starting a painting business and within a few years becoming a successful business owner. From there, the unexpected happened, a loss of self-control, a spiraling drug addiction, becoming a single parent of a 1-year-old daughter, and later homeless. Ray's strength, knowledge, and joy were birthed in turmoil. After a commitment to faith and determination, Ray regained power. He became an independent government contractor, and just as unexpected, a once drug addict found himself painting federal building projects such as the Drug Enforcement Agency, the FBI, Homeland Security, and even the office of then Senator Barack Obama. So without further ado, Pastor Ray Houston.
I can just share with you from my heart. I think I can get the message across. Okay, all right. First of all, thank you all for allowing me to come and speak here, especially my friend Steve Hank. I appreciate you very much. You guys, I went to your website, and checking out the website, you guys seem like you're committed to the communities that you serve, and that's an awesome thing. Well, let me say this here. I'm a storyteller. Some of my stories are my own, and some of the stories that I tell are kidnapped. This is one of the kidnapped stories that I tell because it really inspired me and it kind of lifted me up. There was a thief that went across the border every day. And every day he went across on a black bicycle. And he always had a big smile on his face. And the Border Patrol, they knew him as a thief because he was a thief. And every day they would check his person, they would check the saddlebags, anything they could look for, they looked for it on his person, and they never found anything. And this went on for 30 years. And eventually he retired. And one of the Border Patrolmen had retired as well, and he seen the thief, and he went to the thief and he says, look, you're retired, I'm retired. I wouldn't dare go back and tell them, but out of curiosity, could you please tell me what were you stealing? And he flashed that big smile and he said, black bicycles. And then here's the other part that he told me. He said, I knew that I could steal a bike, paint it black, ride across the border, sell it, steal another black bike, steal another bicycle, paint it black, and ride across again and sell it too. He said, I did not have to worry about the size or the style or the type because I know you people really don't pay attention to detail. That's my story. I'm a storyteller. I had to get one in. But here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the power of a made-up mind. But first, let me start at the beginning. Here's the beginning. What's the reality of your reality? A lot of times we have this thing that we tell ourselves about who we are and how great we are and what we're doing and what we're not doing. And so a lot of times our reality is not really our reality. It's what we want it to be, but it doesn't necessarily all add up. And as I look back at myself, I realized that for me, my lifestyles were not correct. I was a liar, I lied to myself, and lifestyles unchecked will become issues for us. They will become problems. And so I just was so caught up in who I really wanted to be, but I wasn't who I claimed to be. And so let me say this here. At 8 years old now, I just wanted to help people. I remember my mindset. My mindset was I want to help people. Just wanted to be a good guy. And then life happened. And I realized at 14 years old, something had happened. Because now at 14 years old, I'm a drug addict at 14. I'm an alcoholic at 14. I had been introduced to sex at 8 years old, so now I got 3 issues. And the things that I really wanted to do in life were being hindered because of what happened in my life, because I wasn't careful to be careful enough to walk like I was taught to walk, to be as I was raised to be. Understand this here. I was gifted. They were going to show a video or two. Are the videos coming?
I can, yeah.
Yeah,
Do.
because I'm pretty much at that part. And I'd rather show it and you see it than me try to convince you of what I'm talking about.
Let's see here.
Okay, I'm 71 years old, and I'm believing God that for my ministry and for my business, that He's going to bless me with the finances that I need. And I have someone training me. He's from the NFL. I have resources to get to Nike because I'm just stubborn enough to believe that at 71 years old, I could run a 5.5 and 40-yard dash. Yeah, I'm not giving up. I refuse to quit. Now, I'm at a 5.9 now, and that's good, but I want better. Here's my issue. When I was in high school, I played first string offensive guard at 155 pounds at 5 feet 5. I see the guy smiling because he knows, like, wow, that little? Yeah, but by the time the big guy stood up, I was choking the quarterback. But I was told as a freshman that in my sophomore year that I would play varsity. But because of my issues, I never showed up in my sophomore year. Things were hectic, and because of this lying thing about me, I would not be honest with my parents as to who I really was. I figured I knew how to tell them, I knew how to play it by ear. I'd tell them what they wanted to hear and get them off my back. Sad to say, it led me to some place I should have never had went. And the beat down that I took because of my issues, because of my issues that I would not address, it caused devastation in my life. Even when I got my business, and for a while, the devil attacked my business. I started a business with $2, and within a few years, I had generated a few $1 million. And here's why. I was determined to be who I was raised to be. I was raised right, I just went left. And so understand this here. In order to get where we're going, we need what I call DCDC, which is determination, commitment, desire, and confidence. If you don't have those as the CEO, as the business owner, the family patriarch or matriarch, then you're going to have issues. It's one thing to be educated with skills and experience, but if you don't have the DCs in order to do what you have to do, a lot of times we quit in the midst of our issues because we don't have what it takes to do what we need to do that we're qualified to do. And that becomes a problem for so many people that I've seen in business and in ministry and otherwise. A part of my problem in 14, I had arthritis. See, I'm doing this on these videos, and I have a bad condition of arthritis. I have a very bad knee from working 14 years in construction. I'm sorry, 40 years in construction. But here's the bottom line. At 14, I wouldn't fight back. At 14, I got an issue. I said, well, I'm just going to stop. I had a drug problem. I'm just going to stop. But today, irregardless of what issues I may have, regardless of what may be going on in my life, I fight back. And a lot of times we don't fight back. We fight at it, but we don't fight back. I'm looking for the devil, just like he's looking for me. I'm looking for him. You want to pick on me? We're going to fight. Yeah. Because I refuse to allow him. I'm the patriarch of my family now because my parents are gone on. I have to protect my family. I have to be who they raised me to be. I have purpose. And so my purpose is a part of my makeup because I have to be who and what I was raised to be. And without purpose and commitment, then you're lost. You're in trouble already. And I have what I need to do what I need to do. It's a matter of will I stick to the plan? Will I really go there? Will I really fight back when I need to fight back for as long as I need to fight back? Because the power of a made-up mind will take you through college as you need to be. You'll become a better wrestler or a better CEO or whatever you need to be. You have to have more than a desire to do something because it's just what you want to do. My commitment is because I have a purpose in life and I have to get to my purpose. I'm chasing my purpose because it's my makeup. It causes me to be who I am and I have to complete the task at hand. Irregardless of what I've gone through in life, I have always fought back. So I thought. That was one of the lies that I told myself. But no longer am I telling myself the lies. I'm fighting back realistically because I understand today I need to know the reality of my realities. And a lot of times we're not willing to deal with that. And so as I began to fight back, I realized that I was getting beat up. And I was, after my drug addiction, I was 41 years old. And I began to fight back, and I thought that I was really fighting, but I seen that I was really being beat up, but I was fighting. I hadn't came to my senses yet. And you know, sometimes we're fighting in all kinds of crazy ways, and that's not how I fight. But yeah, but see, sometimes when you're fighting, your head is so messed up, you're doing all kinds of silly stuff. But I had to learn to fight. But I had to get my purpose in order. I had to get my head in order so that I could fight as I needed to fight because the beat down was coming. And here's the story of a fight. It's a true story now. This is not one of my kidnapped stories. Sugar Ray Leonard fought Thomas Hearns, I think 1978. And they were both champions. One had one title, one had the other title. They were pretty much evenly matched. I think Sugar Ray Leonard was favored to win. They met, Thomas Hearns beat Sugar Ray Leonard something crazy. His eye looked like another head. I mean, it was just puffed up. But here's the thing. At the end of the 12th round, they were about to stop the fight. The doctor, the ring doctor, the judge, and his corner. And he said, if you would just give me one more round, just give me one more chance. He said, I got this. Look at him like, really? But they gave him a chance. And he went out. He went fighting like this. Yeah, like we fight when we don't know what we're doing. But he went out and he walked them down. He wasn't worried about being hit. He wasn't weaving and bobbing. He was just going after his target. He knocked Thomas Hearns out and went and sat back in the corner. See, that's a great example of the power of a made-up mind. And so if you don't have purpose, if you don't have power, if you're not committed to what you should be committed to, you'll always be telling yourself what you're gonna do, and you become like what I call gonna do people. Always talking about what you're gonna do and never really doing anything whatsoever. So our determination, our commitment, and our desire, confidence, these are elements of a made-up mind. And with all I've been through in my life, it took me years to get it right, because at some point I had to get serious. And sometimes we're focused on what I want to achieve and what I want to do, but there has to be something inside of us that would move us other than a desire for a title, fame, and money. Yeah, yeah, and that's real. I desire to be who I was raised to be, and I have purpose because I love to help people. I would love to be the CEO, as I should be, and not in fantasy. There are things that I really want to do, and that makeup, my purpose is my makeup. And so I'm determined that I will get there. People say, you're crazy. You're not going to run a 5.5. Well, I'm on it. I'm close. I'm maybe only a half a second away. And I believe that if I continue to do what I'm trying to do, my drug ministry will be blessed, my motivational speaking will be blessed, my painting business would be blessed. I understand that I have to be committed. I have to be determined. I have to have confidence. And I have to have the desire, because you have to have a made-up mind, especially in these times. And so here's what I leave with you. You have a staff, you have employees, you have family. If they're weak, you're going to be weak. If you strengthen them, they're going to be strengthened, and your support system will bless you, and you guys can do what you want to do. I'll give you an example, and I'm going to take my seat. I had 16 workers. I had 8 vehicles. I'm doing pretty good. But my people were as they should have been. When I got my people all focused on what I call DC, the amount of work that I did, I had the whole city Milwaukee housing project. And I had to do a great number of apartments every day. Once they were in focus and in tune to what I was teaching them, the amount of apartments doubled with the same number of people. And so do not allow your support system to be weak. I'd rather my support system have the DC more so than education, the training, and the experience, because it's easier to educate than it is to instill DC in your support system. Thank you. Got the most important part. The questions. Yeah, yes, sir, in the back.
Sounds like it all starts with some discipline, but discipline requires discipline. How do you develop that discipline?
With the fear that I had of being totally destroyed, it caused me to get honest about myself, and I really had to deal with the possibilities of my children being destroyed. If I'm destroyed, my children would be destroyed. And so therefore, that was the beginning place of all things, understanding what I had to lose, if that helps. Yes, we have another question. No more questions? Okay, well, thank you for having me.